I knew that I could just copy paste the code into the AI and it'll tell me. But the fix I could have done myself, but I already laid down, tried to sleep after eating some food. But it was something obvious. It was this. It was obviously I was getting the index offset, not the vertices offset. So there's a difference. The indices are the vertices offset, but they're the indices, right? So I get the indexes offset. So this is the common thing you do, and you mess up. But anyway, so I had the index size for another reason. I don't even know why I had it. And you have to get the offset of the vertices and use that to generate the indices. Oh no, I hit Control T and I messed it up. Now I have to recode it manually. Um, so wait, this thing is supposed not supposed to be here. Like, how did it move that here? Pressing Control T. Oh, pressing Control T moves the current line up. That's a really bad key. That is a really bad hotkey. Okay, so this vertex offset goes into here and generates the quad. And I was like, it works, like it works for the first four, but for the next quad it doesn't work. And now we know why. And we have these indices, and they will also be this because they're basically a copy of that. Well, this saves it into like a temporary resource manager type RAM array. This one sends it to the actual one that's being sent to GPU. If this one gets wiped, we could always restore it off of the elements, graphics elements data one, the global. It could have quad info, like if the quad is a normalized, if it has more of these attributes, we could sub-attribute these attributes out into like a vector attribute list instead of doing these like inline struct variables. By inline, I mean right within the struct, just like blah, percent left, percent top, width, blah blah. Like it could be a number of things. It could be the number of pixels, not the percent. And like this list can go like forever, and like it'll just turn into blah bitty blah. And really, what you want is like an int type, and then just a bunch of attributes. And then the way you do that is you create like you do vector or hash map or whatever template type, and then like a std string, and then you just parse it out or something, or it could be ints and a vector of floats, and yeah, it'd probably be a string, comma, a float, like that would be one of the types, or a string, comma, a string, what its name is and what its value is. And it might not be a vector, it might be a map or something. And so yeah, this is probably what this will mutate into. This should be hand coded. Don't ask the AI to do it. Even though you ask, but then just like make a good decision yourself. Because this is how your game engine's gonna. Alright, so for the result, who cares? There is some sort of problem with the colors. For some reason, his eyes are purple. His thing is blue too. So I guess RGB is being switched. That's probably the shader. It's just some stupid thing I did, messing around like with the shader because I was trying to prove to myself like it's working. It's like, oh yeah, just switch the RGB values. You'll see that it's not drawing it like as it usually does, and that's how you tell. So in assets, I have the PC, and the problem is my shaders are subdivided. There is a reason. There was some reason I had to do it like that. I could merge them, I think now, but I think that's going to be for a different day. Yeah, so when it samples the texture, we're sampling BGRA. Really, and this is for a new button. I don't know if we're doing some sort of effect to try to do this. Why we're doing BGRA. When it samples the texture for player type. Let's add a player type. He will have a different position though too. Now we're doing too much. Now I want to go to sleep. Now I'm going like ippity. Like, oh, I got it to work. Time to do everything now. That's why I kind of made a map edit scene. It's like add a player one quad. Okay. Normal quad, player one. And this might get a little spaghetti-ish. I should just go like full on spaghetti-ish until I just like can't. Like it just says like you're an idiot. Like no, which basically means like spaghetti-ish is good at some point. But then like I do have the other code from the other engines, so I could copy paste some of that in. So my materials IDs are 5,000 for player. And I've kind of like organized it, set it up, refactored it with AI. I used AI to refactor it because simply I didn't want to like hand code all these like values and like these values. Oh yeah, I hand coded these, by the way. This was like 1,000 lines of code of copy paste from Blender. But so was this, all these IDs. But this sprite ID one wasn't. I was just like, you know what? I could just paste these two files since I already hand coded them, made sure everything's perfect. It'll perfectly be able to reparse and parse this back in. There should be no problems. The data is normalized by human, and yeah, it was. The only thing I'm worried about is stuff in here a little bit, but that's okay. That's more of like a UI thing. Like this is for me to play with the main menu UI and get it all nice and bubbly and clay. I am gooey. Just just kind of in those normal things. Yeah, because it was rendering the toilet instead of the player, but the toilet is located on the other side of the image. So if you don't have it flipped, this is the other fix I did, is vertical flip in SBD library. It flips the texture vertically. And I have to go into my asset manager. And right before you call SBD load from memory or from file, or there's more load functions from web, I believe you could also do. Because I also have like a web loader that calls curl, because I have curl working. So I could fetch a file off of the web as a string. I should add the binary one too. It should be able to load binaries. And I forget how the Android resource loader works for the text files. Like you load up like more resources into your app. There's a tutorial for it. But I think you could do it with curl also. But I want to be able to see how they do it again because I did the tutorial before. I was successful at getting it to work, but I'm not sure about the web part of it. Yeah, so that's an interesting thing of being able to push ABB bundle assets and being able to load those textures and stuff. So now let's try it here. It should work. I didn't try it here yet. Oh yeah, add player quad is not defined yet. So we've added more code and I haven't even tested it here. That happens too many times because it's just like, oh, yay, I got it to work, go. And it's like, oh, I didn't even test it there. That's bad. So add normal quad player. This is a void. It's good to make it in bool or an int and upgrade the. I call that upgrading the function because you actually have to return something and there's a little more information. It makes it, I think, a little slower for the CPU, but not really. It's like how you're gonna optimize. Just make everything void and then make everything in line. It's like or have everything be an int function returning an int. No, let's return a superstructure pointer. Yeah, it's like Usually the normal thing to do is just be like, alright, this is this type of function, so do this. Is this what it's called? Yeah, call it here. The problem with doing it like this for the player, if the screen resizes, the player will resize too. Let's put him like at least like at 60% or something. It'll still be sprite ID 5. 6 is an enemy, so let's just make the player the enemy. The player's the enemy, yeah. Okay, will it compile? Like, let's just bug the compiler until it works. These buttons need to be like transparent or something. I like how I made the older buttons. It's gonna be like interesting trying to get all that back working. A lot of that's like shader work with just a bunch of crazy if statements. Okay, so we got the player. I don't think this has the moving camera. No, it does. I didn't disable it. I was able to move it off screen, so the player moved. This is the player sprite, but it is a UI element, and it has the thing flipped. Like, how do I move it back to the screen? Like, I should make it like a button, like a double tap, or like if you hit one of them, it resets it. But that's like hard. What if I hit back? I remember you could override the back function. I think I have that functionality in the scene, to where if you hit back, yeah, I can make it so it goes back to the prior scene or something. So the back function actually works. I don't think the circle does anything. Oh, it does this. Okay. I can't hit the square with my hand because the holder's in the way, but just do it like this. Alright, so let's flip it. It changes back to this scene. I believe the save camera, yeah, it saves the camera so we can't see the other quads. Oh, there's the other little thing. That's the size of the player. Let's like zoom in like a lot. Yeah. It should look like the enemy thing, but because he's so small, it looks pixelated. So what if we increase the size of that? Like it's kind of far away, which is one of the problems. Let's see how this looks like on PC. Did we recompile PC? No, I don't think we did. To recompile it first. But what would be a good size? Because this is in perspective. I don't know how far away it is. Alright, so let's just look at the shader code for a second here. So it'll be this. The alpha will be 1 unless if texture is white background, we have to set the alpha to 0, which we can do later. Okay, let's look at the vertex shader for a second. They should be identical in vertex shader. I don't think I had any changes for player. Okay, so 5000 player, 0.9 away. So I think the screen is at 0. Okay. And it's setting it 0. Yeah, so it's statically setting it 0. Oh, cool. It moves them. Oh, it's the yeah. So their size shouldn't change. Oh no, wait. Their size does change. That guy's size changed because he never gets normalized. This guy gets normalized. So doesn't the player, which is going to be interesting watching it normalize and us having to draw a grid. Yeah, that's how small shit is. You draw it 64 by 64, and you got this camera. It's lagging because of all the printfs. If we got rid of all the mouse events, it'd be smooth. Really, we need to do the text. Well, it's almost like I want him to jump first before I do the text. And I want to do the text first before I make him jump. Because the text, I'll have to add that class that'll keep track of where it is on the stack of the UI. Alright, cool. So we could add like another player or enemy or something. Like, how would I zoom in? I think there is a function with scroll in some other scene. I override on scroll. So basically, like, I already built the other part of the system. Well, I didn't build all of it. I copy pasted it and merged it. And Android open source built it, and they built the hardware. But you override this thing to go into the scene, and then you build a camera out of math, which is the perspective projection matrix, gets multiplied by the view matrix by the model matrix, and in some cases, some other crap, like if you wanted to do some other fancy thing, or you could just multiply it by all three, which is called an MBVP, which is like you did it on the CPU side, then you just do it on the GPU for whatever reason that you cached it or it's not going to change. And then it just looks like this. GL position equals projection view model. It has to be in that order, and then you times it by the position of the vector 4. The reason is I say vector 4 is because these three are 4 by 4 matrices, so they are not vector 4. They're mat 4 or mat 4 sometimes called. Here you see them. Why do I have like two projection matrices? One is for PVM, all three of them, or MVP. You say it backwards. Well, I don't know. And then projection on aspect, that's supposed to be orthogonal for another different type of display where you want it to be calculated here for some reason. I think I got rid of that. Oh no, unproject the aspect one. Yeah, I think I need to put that in so this variable doesn't just get uh, cut out. It gets cut out because the optimizer will see that I'm not using it at all in the code here, and it'll be like as if it's like this, like it's commented out. That's what it'll literally do for you. And then when you try to access it and put stuff into it, it doesn't find it because there's nothing it can do anyway. So like it figures that out. It's like a stupid optimization that's annoying because like you pre-write the code. You're like, why isn't it working yet? Yeah, I know I haven't wrote the shader yet, but I need to write the first shader code on the CPU side, but I can't see the variable. It's because you need to actually use the variable. So it's like you have to write two at the same time, which is kind of annoying. And so what we're gonna write, we're gonna write another quad. Oh, unscroll. That's what we really need. We need an unscroll function. Add quad enemy. The enemy quad won't be updated. The player quad, let's update the player quad. Let's like play around with this. Whenever we update the size of the thing. So on Android, the size doesn't really get updated that much. It's hard to update it without like rotating, and rotating doesn't really. Well, it does change the aspect ratio. Like we could see with our eyes, kind of. If we made it like the aspect ratio is kind of funny on the player because it's 120 by 80. We could change all that. Where's the update? Not update over shader. Who cares? Like why? can't I find it? I was able to find it before, like, in a second. Yeah, on back button pressed. Request new scene options scene. So it should have actually done something. I don't know why this didn't work. Okay. So if there's a new quad player, update his thinger with the new width and height. We have to pass in the vertices and the indices in the VBO simply because I don't want to keep a reference of it inside the other code, which is kind of stupid because I might as well, because it's like everything is going to start to. Yeah, this is like where like definition meets a bunch of passing through shit. So only camera X and camera Y really get modified in this, don't they? Camera Z never gets modified. I forgot, I just searched the entire project. On scroll, okay. Okay, so we have 3 hits. It's probably the only 3 we have. That might be just the API for portion. Sorry, it's searching all through free type and some other crap. Alright, on scroll callback. What the hell is this? Callback demo. Endless tunnel. Multiple platform. Oh, this is a different code base. Yeah, I found this other code base of an endless tunnel. Somebody was building some other kind of game out of it. This is actually pretty cool right here. This is some nice code. System callback on pointer move. Map editor. They had a map editor in this? That's what I'm trying to build. Fant ground, Fant coin, Fant mushroom, Fant meta. Cursor add Fant. Damn it. Wish I had time to read all this and re-implement. It'd be nice to compile this because I could totally do it. Library, OpenGLES, resources, texture manager, shader manager. Yeah, so this is how they did it. Texture shader source. So they built their own resource manager right here. System OpenGL include, which is some stupid shit. System paths, that's just some garbage. Tunnel scene manager and tunnel cap or Safari scene. Yeah, so they built this pretty cool thing. Texture manager loader, font loader. So they have a text renderer in this. Oh wow. Wow. Yeah, I'm not gonna just copy their shit. That's stupid. I do want to copy their mechanics though of how their move cursor move camera thing. Cursor zoom. On map save file clicked. So he's saving this map. Save level to file. That's pretty cool. Because I like to send off mine onto a workshop and have my own like little like cloud based. People can like play other people's maps when they join. So people will actually like do this thing. Yeah, it has a map editor and UI. So this is how he did a button. Rectangle. Yeah, this is kind of how I did it. It's funny how he predefined a height. A lot of this looks pretty spaghetti-ish. Oh, they use GLM, noobs. But you kind of have to because Endless Tunnel comes with GLM, so you like end up like using it because it's like a available. And it's like, you don't feel like writing a math library. You're like, oh yeah, GLM's cool. Alright, we have to look at our own engine now. What were we searching for? On scroll. That one on scroll search did all that. Okay, so we have one hit. 6 hits. Yeah, I was like, why is there only 3 hits? Because it was a different engine. Whoops. Yeah, so on scroll offset, Kulo engine, this is how the callback works. Because it calls it back from the mouse on PC and from the, how does it work on the mobile? I forgot. I don't think there is a way it calls it. It's like if you have it like 2 fingers and you detect that, you could do that way. Anyway, who cares? Okay, scene manager, UI scene. Yeah, and then just call camera position on the Y offset. Just do this shit. I'll be able to do it on PC. It won't do anything on Android. Just kind of okay for now. It's more of like, does this crap even work? Virtually override this garbage. Virtual void on scroll double offset offset Y. And we should be able to like move the camera around and zoom in now. And obviously the shit is like, why is our camera so dumb in this? This is for something else, kind of. This is for like trying to do hardware and Raspberry Pi thing. But find it. Is there an M camera Z? I bet you there's not, like for some stupid reason. No, there's not. Oh, wow. Okay. This is the M camera Z. It's this value. So it's negative 15. It's the view matrix's 14th slot, which is like, if you think about it, you have to divide it by 4. So it would be the 2 slot, damn it, in the 4th row or something. I don't know. I shouldn't have actually been guessing that, but I just tried anyway. Just because my brain is just like, yeah, this is why you can do this. But the important part is that I can guess that since I see the other 2 values being pushed in there. So it must be like the next value is the Z. Because you know how it's going to do the matrix multiplication math? Or it's just an easy assumption because what else is going to be right after X and Y, right? What we do want to kind of do here is we should have these being initialized inside of the constructor to 0, which we don't. We don't. We're totally relying on the H file to do this for us. I don't know why. So it should actually be like this, just for like safety and sanity reasons, but it doesn't really necessarily have to. Like the language will just take it from the H file. Uh, so we have to do it for dragging also. Whatever. Take that. Okay, and then we have some garbage. Camera that M position offset is not okay. Yeah, I forgot to change that. I forgot to fix that. The main thing of why we did all this was so I can go to this line instead of saying camera that position Z, which we can do. We can make the camera look like a struct, but we just have variables, which we should maybe comment out and just save, just so like it tips us off later. Like, please do it like this. Don't do this like million variables inside your code thing. But it's also bad because you leave trash around. But leaving trash around is like my motto of coding, so I don't care. Like, my file's 1,000 lines, but a lot of it's comments and shit that doesn't like do anything yet because it's like being constructed. And then later you kind of go in and you make a new project and you just kind of delete all these mass comment outs of like these just blocks of like predefined stuff. Cool. I need to fix that quad shader. Okay. So if I scroll, he disappears, obviously. Oh, this shit happened. Damn it. Because scrolling is stupid. Let's relaunch it. Damn it. It just automatically kills it. Because I don't know what the value is. What is the scroll value? What is it setting it to? It's setting it to some crap where like we can't see him because he's like too close or too far away. This is what you do. When instead of setting it, let's just increment it to whatever it is. Because if it's, you press up, it goes up, and you press down, it goes down. That's why. It's like, that code was just bad. It was kind of good and kind of bad. There's a good side to it and a bad side. If the camera's set up for it, it's good because like it only allows you to zoom in so far and so close. But if it's not set up for it, like we can go like whatever the offset is, -15. That would actually maybe fix it without losing the value of 15. So you don't lose the initial camera I Z. I mean, camera sub I Z. Yeah, now we can kind of do that. It's kind of pixelated though. Oh wow. Okay. Where's the other stupid character? Are we supposed to have two? Did we add him? Damn it. I don't think we did. What the hell is going on here? Like, one of them is updating. This guy is updating. This guy's not going to be updating. Quad normal enemy is just created. Quad normal player. If quad, oh yeah, this is not being updated. Like, he's updating the other quad. Like, why? Oops, that was an error. And then we need to add this. Garbage. I could add the transparency crap later. It's not too hard. It's just like alpha blending. I mean, writing in shader. If it's this color, just set alpha to 0. Why is it like this? Like, what's up with this phone? I usually like to use my phones upside down. It helps be confused. Yeah, it can't send it the scroll command. Can it? It can't. Even though the other version, PC version, Android version, there should be two sprites, not one. Because the other one is being drawn right on top of this one with the same picture. Is that what is happening? So likely that I didn't like change the character or change this thing. Alright, let's just change the character, set this to some other value. Set the percent to like 90, whatever. He'll be a little bit off the. Well, he won't be off the screen simply because he's on a perspective projection. Yeah, so the way I've set up the shaders, a lot of this next part is kind of easy. It's like add the quads, just make a system of vectors, add them in. Yeah, th the next part is actually fun. It's just like, just make a list of like platforms, add them in. The other interesting thing that's going to be harder is making the map editor. Well, I need to make like the buttons next. Yeah. So we see the other character who is a piece of water. Oh, he's like trees and shit. Uh-oh. That's not like uh Infermo. Good. That looks nice because it has quality. He doesn't have quality though. He looks all pixelated. Like why? Because he's upbound. The screen doesn't have resolution. I don't have like blurring or blending turned on, which I can. There's a way to do that. It's basically they're too big. Does he look good like this? Yeah, it's because he's being stretched, right? His aspect ratio is being updated, right? Oh, I lost him on the camera here. Because I did that, it really messed up where the camera is, didn't it? Because what I'm trying to do here, let's do this. Resize. What will happen? Yeah, he sizes like this, but what happens to the characters in perspective view? That's the real question. But I can't get them back. Oh, damn it. Okay, so what if I do it like this? Yes, so one is bigger than the other. He gets resized to the correct aspect ratio of the monitor, right? But the other one doesn't. Oh, it's just pretend the second one is the player, the the trees and the three floating platforms of grass. Like grass obviously floats, but surrounded by greener grass on top of clouds that look like water, or water that looks like clouds. Uh, yeah, and so we still don't have a good answer though, because the question is, what happens when it's extremely like bad, like this? Like, see, he resized correctly, or you could say the other guy resized correctly. No, the other guy got smashed. The fat guy got squished, while the skinny guy got. It looks like he got fatter because of the thing, but he's actually stayed the same. So like this. But since the mouse leaves that area, we have to get the raw mouse coordinates. And it's not doing it here, but I do have the code for it. I do have the Windows code, so we don't have to rely on GFL. And we could override the Windows version, just not the Linux version of getting the mouse coordinates. Because you could give the mouse coordinates outside the window. So the only thing is like, how do I just like move the camera? Just make them super small and then do it. Yeah, move them to position like this. Oh no, you have to move the window. I think it's based on what the mouse is, not where what the delta is. I forget. Or it's based on the delta, which will make it super hard to do this right. To get him to show up again. Damn it. I love it when it's this camera problems. We could see it on the phone though. So he looks kind of like stretched. But we didn't recompile it for the phone, did we? Damn it. So it should have been 1000, I mean 180, I mean 120 times 80. That does not look like 120 times 80. That does not look like the right ratio right there. That looks kind of like the right ratio. That, probably, because it first rendered. Let's see what happens. Okay. Oh no, what is it? That I can't really see. It looks a little small. One way I could remember is by not remembering. Doing this. Rotating it. Huh. Yeah, now it looks all fat again, doesn't it? Like this does not look like this. But it's perspective projection. So is it being stretched because of the perspective projection? This is the question. So I would have to use the other projection. Because on this is still perspective projection, but it's at a certain point. But this, since it gets farther and farther away, like we should be able to see it like that on the PC, but I have to do it like this. Because when it updates it for us. Alright, so he kind of gets skinnier, doesn't he? This is why I made the zoom function like first. Damn it, he like went away somewhere. Yeah, that actually stays how it's supposed to. He stretches here up. In the perspective he stretches, in the close-up he doesn't. Damn it, I'm confused. Yeah, the first guy is not stretching at all. This guy always stretches. These guys are stupid. Oh, this is nice and confusing. It's almost like build the whole level right now and then figure that out. This is always the fun part, figuring out like the aspect of the camera. If you don't know the math, it's just like, who cares? But if you don't know the math, but at least know the theory, you'll figure it out. You'll just insert the right code. You'll know what the code should be inserted and what looks right and what doesn't look right. So the one on the left looks right, but the one on the right should be right. I mean, other way around. The one on the left should be right. The one on the right should be. It looks right. I mean, it looks wrong. It should be wrong. But he got smushed. So the other one didn't get smushed, but this one did get smushed. Yeah, and they both look smushed. So the right looks smushed, and the left doesn't look smushed. Let's see. Yeah, that's his actual ratio. Like if you look at this guy, that's his ratio. He's a little bit cut, a little bit high onto the head. I think that's a bad cut right there. He got part of his forehead cut off. It's okay. What about the other guy? I think, yeah. Okay, whatever. Let's do. We code in Notepad++ because Android Studio lags. So let's add platforms quads. And we'll have to write a for loop. See, can we do this faster? Yeah, we can. We have to explicitly tell it a few things. It'll write most of the code for us. Like, I could write it myself, but I just feel like copy pasting most of it. That's okay that that's in there. Do I want to tell it this? Not really. It'll just mess it up. I want to tell about this. I wanted to tell it about... Where's game? Yeah, because I made game class, but this is the class that won't work with context. Well, in our new version, we do have a working context thing. Do we have to have these sprite IDs? Yes. We don't have to tell it about triggers or enemies. Alright, so what we have to do is take this shit. Just erase this. Okay. Do we want this? Okay, we'll keep the colors. We won't keep this world thing. That'll just confuse it. Oh, we need the world thing. Because it tells it the width. No, let's get rid of it. It'll like define it itself. We don't want it to think that it has some other definition. We have have to take the other thing we copy pasted. Insert. Alright. Garbage. Shuffler. Garbage in, garbage out. Let's see what we get. Refining the loop. Clarifying the logic. Oh, it's going to be interesting. Add platform squads. Looping through your global platforms vector. Cool. Alright, map scene editor. Close from cloud. Get instance. PV type platform. Get the rail. Blah blah blah. Note if it holds a state. Consider these type of pointers. Vector member is visible. Member to avoid memory leaks. No. Create. Alright, this looks like good. This is exactly kind of what I wanted. I just didn't want to like code that by hand. It might be not exactly, but yeah, let's just see. Because what we have to do we want to do this here? To write something like load level. Why do we need another function to kind of start separating this from game core logic from graphic injection thing? Okay, we need like this to be in load level. Is this an int or a float? I don't know. I think it was like 6,000 was the length of this level, but we'll just kind of think it is for now, just to like save time, just to be able to test this really fast. Alright, the other stuff should be right. It should actually conform to my other IDs. And that should inject a bunch of vector levels into this platforms. We just need to define this actually. Like we'll just put platform types into the scene. But now we need a vector for the actual graphic units, this platform normalized thing, new. Does he actually push this onto something? No, he doesn't. He just like throws it away. Yeah, so we need a pushback here. He talks about it. It says something like, warning, don't use this. Call platform quads render in case we need them. So just push this back. Do a dot, right? It's a bunch of pointers. It'll just tell us the error and we'll just fix it. Yeah, the platform quad. We want to keep that for updating it later in case it moves. And that should be it. Let's just execute this. It'll just tell us what to do next with the errors. Put a dot on normals, damn it. Platform type, not declared in the scope. Uh-oh. We kind of want to. Alright, let's go into core. folder called game. Side game, we'll put platforms. It's already a 3-level structure directory for this engine. Oh wow. Is it called platform types in the other part of the engine? Yeah. Platform type. Platform type dot cpp. I don't think we need the cpp file for now, which it will later hold all the platforms, but different things like the map editor and the game can have different things, and they might not want to share their platform types, but we could SLI them like to NVIDIA GPUs that use AMD to, yeah, we have to just get rid of that for now. We will just include this. I like including H files and H files just because it like leaves more room inside C++ file. Even though sometimes it is compilationally better for speed, I think. If I'm right, it depends on the compiler or some other thing. Okay, let's see, did we get that right? Because that's like the main thing, it's just like throwing that struct into this file. So we don't have it like inside of this file. Because this file is already getting like trash canned for later. Narrowing conversion of the width to float inside. Okay, that's not too bad. The only thing we forgot to call was the actual functions. Here's, damn it. The logic looks right. So it will make it a type platform, send the width and height, loop through all the platforms, get their sprite ID, left edge percent. Ah, shit. Platform X. Yeah, this logic is not set up for these platforms yet. This create quad geometry. I'm so tired. I'm so stupid. So dumb. This create quad geometry only is set up for one parameter, left edge percent. I'm sorry, I failed. That's okay. We will just call it anyway and just see what happens. And just let the madness like take over our lives. Who cares? Because we can add the correct function later. We just want to demonstrate that we've added like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like 15 objects just computer magically. Compute magically. Because we just like completely just like made like a lot of shit and just like put it on the screen. And later what you do is you take these platform things and loop through them and do your physics off of these x and y's and widths and heights. And they could be moving and then later can convert this into matrix. Not the movie, but not the Euler, but the quadraturnian. It's so basically we can execute, I think it's called JDK, GDK. Okay, let's just get what method better than sat like JGK for rotation collision in 2D. Because we could use sign distance fields for some funny things. Because we could tell it to like write us a game right now. You are thinking of GDK Gilbert Johnson Karithi algorithm. It's incredibly powerful and elegant algorithm to have complex candidate for a 2D platform with using rectangles. JDK is not better than SAT, separating axes. In fact, SAT is significantly better suited for your exact use case. Here's a breakdown of SAT's golden standard for 2D rotated platforms and how you SAT beats JDK for 2D rotated angles because rotated angles stops being a X line box becomes an OBB, object-oriented bounding box. Math speed for SAT2 OBB is extremely fast because the parallel edges share the same axis. Collision resolution is a deal breaker. In the platform, knowing if a collision has happened isn't enough. You must know how much they overlap. With detection push, player SAT calculates overlap naturally true or false. To get the push out data from GDK, you have to write a whole second highly complex algorithm called EPA expanding polytope algorithm. That's okay. You'll write it for me. Um, there is another algorithm. Is that so? After GDK runs, we need to do EPA for overlap calculation. Yeah, that's what I remember already. Like I I've studied this a little bit, and you could also use a sign distance field, and it'll like work like crap if you tell it to like write it in WebGL. But what if you used all three of these? You could really interestingly the minimum the minimum translation vector MTV. Cool, yeah, MTV. um Two-step process. I highly recommend SA. Like, it's funny how he highly recommends it, but he hasn't written any code yet. Or did he? Oh yeah. Did we use a matrix? Just keep being stupid to him and just then tell him what to do. Uh, can we have to use a matrix for platform underscore type? Like this Claude thing here, stupid because it's like they let you only like use like two of these. Like I don't remember. Let's see. Write a collision algorithm for a AAA 2D platformer physics engine where we'll have a matrix rotation thingy and be partially distributable. Uh, and our player. We also have a player type. So our player type kind of looks like this. It's like fascinating code I made. And it's in a different window. We should just like see how the code runs first before doing all this type of research, but the research is actually the best part. So we have a player. It's called player 2. Player class, sorry. Player animator particles, like some of the crap. And he is AX, I mean, the derivative or the velocity and the acceleration jump force like these jump force and jumps variables max jump height because max jump height for imagine can there could be a max jump height max And then this could get accumulated by a dx max jump height, which means the derivative or the velocity of the jump height of the jump height. So you could have that. You could have like integrals or derivatives rounds of what's the third derivative called? Or integral? Damn it, I forget. But anyway, uh, like how to? Okay, who cares? Die, Claude. I hope you don't answer this right. I don't care. What did Gemini say? Alright, so platform type, it put a model matrix to this crap. The rotation in radians, angle in radians. Did we ask it if it's going to use quadraturnians for this? No, we didn't ask it like stupid questions yet. Are you going to use quadraturnians for JK while simultaneously using SAT for checking collisions and moving the platform with the fat guy player? And does he need matrix 2? What if he has two matrices and you just like swap them like for whatever reason and he just turns upside down? Yeah, so you could really make it really neat, but you would actually have to mathematically know what you're doing first and then kind of sit there and just like swap these like pseudo spaghetti code systems, but have a interface in place to like do this. What the hell did he write here? Player update dxdy. He wrote this like boilerplate. The good part of this code is like star this in collision systems, all platforms. No, actually that's kind of bad, but I don't know. Player animate, use the update the animator. So he knows about the animator. I didn't tell him about the animator. The collision system. So he wrote these files. Like, can I auto save this? Downloadable files. What is this shit? So he wrote a collision system and its usage. OBB to ABB. Interesting. Okay. ABB to ABB. He wrote that. OBB to OBB. Get penetration vector. Is top collision. Get the closest collision. Absolute value of penetration vector plus absolute value of collision penetration vector y. Handle spike collision. How did you know about the spike collision part? Oh, it might be inside the code. Is collision spike? Yeah, because I could show with the Sonic the Hedgehog code and how he can like move onto surfaces like by being attached to them, and you're not really colliding. You're just kind of gliding onto a. I mean, you're just following a rail. Ugh. Spin, perfect. Keep this. Usually track the radians or degrees. Does spin can have its speed slash velocity and acceleration of spin? It's like, what if we have that crap too? We could have bounciness and elasticity, have derivative. Alright, so this is our platforms. It just kind of drew them, which is more of a test to see how stupid I am. And alright, so some of these came out good, and some of these are not the correct sprite. Fuck. They're totally not the correct sprite. Alright. So the main problem is that we can't even tell. We shouldn't even try to like fix it like this. But they are being drawn with the grid on them, which is actually making them look kind of cool. Like I could see like doing this grid effect. So I could add the hash map effect from the other thing I was working on, from the Raspberry Pi and the RTS engine, and add this like, cause it'll be low level high performant. It's kind of like the static ETV effect. But it kind of made it really cool. I just wonder how much it costs because it uses this a gradient function inside the shader, which is just annoyingly stupid. It's like, no, that gradient function's like expensive. There's like another way you could draw a grid without having to use gradient. Maybe there isn't. I don't know. Let's just ask it. Uh, So what we really need to do is add the platform's actually renderer. The renderer has the shader type, sprite ID, UV, UI, X1, X2, XZ, the type, the blocks index. So this was the first prototype, because the newer version has already this tracking system kind of in the background sitting around. And it has the associative platform type that it's rendering. And for some reason it has its own functions to push it to the graphics card, which is really stupid, but it just did. This is what it turned out to be. Uh, burn an unsigned int divided by 0. Okay. What I have to do is go into graphics folder, open normalize quad. I already have this open somewhere. Make new file. Normalize. No, it's like, why? Why does this make me do this? I'll just name it normalized platform quad for now. What is this code? Oh, it's annoying doing it like this. Okay. Whatever, just like get it done. This cool quad info thing is gonna be like, okay, this is really where it has to be this crap. And this will be the info of the platform. Which is still kind of like, not that great, but this left edge, right edge, fucking bullshit, garbage from the garbage of the UI is kind of garbagey. But let's just follow its garbageness to the bitterness, because this quad bottom edge will just be Y. And top edge will be Y plus NDC height, right? Yeah. Okay, left edge, right edge. This should be X. This quad info.x is the right edge. This kind of doesn't make any sense to do it like that. Like, it really should be this. But what if we did do it like that? Like that's the question. Will it mess with our camera? Because we can redo the camera, but it's like redoing the camera and this part of this stupid. But this is just like adding staticicity, because we're timesing it by 2 for some really stupid reason. No reason at all, and minusing 1. That's some stupid normalization crap. Let's just not do it, because we're already like normalizing here, right? Because this is to have a percentage. That's why it does that. It's to calculate out the percentage. Okay. We might have to flip the normals. I mean the UVs. Do we set the UVs here? Oh, this is just the update. Oh, I wrote the wrong thing. Uh-oh. That was really fun. So instead of it being bottom edge, looks is all wrong. Just manually, just like zombie code this really fast. What I'm doing is just like initializing the variables first that we're gonna save, because I already coded them in. I just didn't name it right. Just kind of went in and just said, blah blah. This is this. Kind of knew where I was going with it already. So y will be the bottom edge, and then the top edge is just y plus the NDC height, which is already divided in for us. It's times 2 of the thing. We calculate pixel float from the new Windows dimensions. I think it's times 2 because we have it normalized going from -1 to 1. But I think in metal you wouldn't do that times 2, which is like an extra calculation you don't have to do, which it probably doesn't later. Whatever. It's just like stupid. Why would the screen be -1 to 1 instead of 0 to 1? You get more precision out of the float. Like, whoever made that up is an idiot. Alright, I think this is correct. We'll just get errors and we'll just fix them as we go. Okay, create quad geometry for normalized platform quad has been created. We need to include this into our project. Just crap. Okay, we gotta update that. This should be included by default on the PC version because we do a star. On the Android version, we have to add it to makefile. cmakefile.list or the text or whatever. It's in C++. cmakefile list the text. And I just copy paste the H file because it's just faster for me to access that physically. Okay. Let's just try to compile this on here and on here. And we should get an error. No, we won't get an error yet because we haven't included this thing. We gotta go into the map thing, do a little bit of magic. I mean, just like hard code it in there. We have this open already somewhere else, so we won't have 2 of them open. That's bad. That's how you make the error of like writing new code and then saving over it. That's always like fantastic. Like, oh, I did it. Oh no, I didn't make it do that yet. And it won't work the way I did it the first time. Cool. Alright, where is the stupid thing that we need? It's not here. We have some error. But before we fix it, we have to go in here and find the other thing. Where is it? Why is this thing not open? Okay. So, it will be called this. I have to get rid of that. We called this. We need it to be included here. So we have normalized platform quads. Later we'll also have normalized player quads, but it could be the same thing as platform quads technically because they're just sprites. Everything is sprites, except for the UI. But now for simplicity's sake, we're just gonna, because we could just trash this map edit scene and then later make a new scene. So this is not going to be a normalized quad, it's going to be a thinger. A normalized platform quad. And when we add quads, Oh no, we're gonna have to modify the AI's code here. We're not gonna be able to do this. Okay, so platform, this is not gonna be normalized platform quad. We could actually tell it about our little update we did, and it'll figure it out. For the sake of learning, we can actually learn. So learn platform X will be the first parameter. Y will be the second, like we defined in the thing. Then it's width and height. And just, yeah, we're done. Then we just have to fix this stupid left edge garbage on line number 129, side of normalized quad platform. Like, why is it this? Where is it? Oh, it's like trying to store it. Like, we already stored what we needed, so we don't need to do this. Because up here, I already did it. These 4 lines. Okay, so next error is line 216. What I didn't do is just write the correct name of this. I wrote its class, or its struct name, instead of its variable name, which is like good. It'll completely understand what I tried to mean. It's like AI, but not the compiler. That's the only errors we have? That's it? We're done? Damn it, execute. That didn't work. It's still in the same place. What? That we already fixed that code. What the hell? This file is not part of the project. Okay. We gotta sync this anyway for Android. CMake changed. Alright, it worked. Kinda. I think that's the biggest quad. That's the one that's 6,000 long. That's the ground. Cause I recycled the level from the other codebase. It was just like a really simple level. The funny thing is, I said it worked, but it didn't. Because like, where's the other shit? Well, that actually looks really nice with the grid being trying to like draw like scraping into it. But where are the other quads? Fuck. Alright, I have to look at the code. Like, what am I gonna do? Zoom in and see them? No. Fuck. Alright. So, sprite IDs. Platform color. What's wrong here? Okay, so we start out with it like a super huge quad 40 width. then we go on and we have 50 to 150 with 230. 50 to 300 on 300, 200. Yeah, so if this one works, add platform quads. Platforms, size, for loop, I, new platform quad equals create platform quad geometry, x, y, z, x, y, width, height, sprite ID. It's like it's rendering one of them. It's so annoying. Stupid ass cast thing. So Clang didn't like that. Clang didn't like this. It wants this. Whatever. Fuck you, Clang. Cool. Kind of, except we need the other quads. Why aren't they here? Damn it, what the hell did I want to ask Grok? didn't want to ask him this, but I have to ask him something anyway. But it's stupid because it doesn't save the conversation if you're not signed up. Did it save what I just typed? No. It's terrible. I hate X. It's like they keep banning me. Well, they just don't know who I am. So I'll just like get banned more for what they did. Dumbasses. Let's see if we can get this to work today and then just go sleep. Because the problem is stupid. Because the next solution is for me to copy paste this garbage in there. Just tell it, whoops, I forgot to tell you this. It should figure it out though. It's like analyzing the textures. Wow. It really gives it a headache because what it's trying to look at is that big ass line. This is too small. Well, we could just multiply it by a higher number. It's not a big deal. Yeah, it doesn't know what the GPU code is. That's kind of like guesstimating. It's actually telling me something from another context, which is kind of funny. Oh. You are adding 0.1 to 6,000. Cool. Convert everything to NDC. Fuck. Kinda don't want to. Let's see if this does fix it though. I think this will actually crush them. Because 120 divided by the 1,000 will squash them times 2 minus 1, yeah. That should literally just completely annihilate them. It should be like the opposite. Like we shouldn't be NDCing them in the first place. Like it should have been normalized in the first place, I think. But it's interesting to try anyway for no reason. Alright, let's just see what would happen. Whatever. Because the other code would be just to say right edge is equal to x, or sorry, left edge is equal to x or y, or whatever. It maps out either way, just to the width and height, and there's just no calculation with this or any of this. And it kind of makes it simpler. Because for the game, but the reason we want this is to normalize it. Oh, I got it. Yeah, I think those are the platforms were broken, but whatever. So let's zoom into them. You could zoom in more because of the fact that it has that grid thing, so it looks like you could zoom in more. Like it has more quality than it really does. Just a little bit. But I wonder how much that gradient shader really costs. And this is just a mouse offset that it's kind of like going to follow the player in this kind of weird way. But this did create the same kind of effect as the quadraturnian camera. So this is kind of a recode. But it won't display. Oh no, it'll move on the Android. Why am I lying? So that was the fix, I guess, for that. So that it's kind of like 50-50, like my idea and the thing's idea, but yeah, I can move that. It's not the right orientation right now. Okay, but that's the problem. So now, because I'm playing this and I'm holding this with my hands, I would need to change based on what the orientation. I would need to make an orientation function, get scene orientation, make an orientation function, and then redraw the scene to where it's the correct orientation. Because I don't want people to play it like this. Oh, upside down is fine, but whatever. Wait, now is this is right? Yeah, this now looks right. Huh. So I didn't have to change anything right now. The other orientation was wrong? Okay, I don't know how that happened. So I guess you can change the orientation by changing the normalized coordinates yourself somehow. We won't be able to zoom in hard enough here. Okay, cool. Later we'll add the jumping thing. The player, there's a button press and then moves, and then there's gamepad code. CMake is already ready for the PlayStation 4 controller code. Game controller required config, whatever. There's curl, SSL, even for the older devices. Yeah, and then text. The game controller paddle boat static for the controller. This is kind of cool. I just don't like the lag of the stupid printf. Oh, it makes me so mad when I need to just turn it off. I just need to have like a button that just turns it off. I need to ifdef it. Now, because you always want it to come back. Because whenever you debug the UI, you want those printfs